Sheikh Hasina biography. Sheikh Hasina Wazd, born 28th of September 1947, is a Bangladeshi politician who served as the 10th Prime Minister of Bangladesh from June 1996 to July 2001, and again from January 2009 to August 2024. She is the daughter of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the founding father and first president of Bangladesh. Having served for a combined total of over 20 years, she is the longest-serving prime minister in the history of Bangladesh. She was the world's longest-serving female head of government. Her dictatorship ended in self-imposed exile following a series of violent protests in 2024. As the autocratic regime of Hussein Mohammad Ershad came to an end, Hasina, then leader of the Awami League (AL), lost the 1991 election to Khaleda Zia, with whom she had collaborated against Ershad. As leader of the opposition, Hasina accused Zia's Bangladesh Nationalist Party (BNP) of electoral dishonesty and boycotted parliament, which was followed by violent demonstrations and political turmoil. Zia resigned in favor of a caretaker government, followed by Hasina becoming prime minister after the June 1996 election. While the country began to experience economic growth and a reduction in poverty, it remained in political turmoil during her first term, which ended in July 2001, with Hasina being succeeded by Zia following her victory. Hasina was the first Bangladeshi prime minister to serve a full 5-year term since independence in 1971. During the 2006-2008 political crisis, Hasina was detained on extortion charges. After her release from jail, she won the 2008 election. In 2014, she was re-elected for a third term in an election that was boycotted by the BNP and criticized by international observers. In 2017, after nearly 1 million Rohingya entered the country, fleeing genocide in Myanmar, Hasina received credit and praise for giving them refuge and assistance. She won a 4th and 5th term after the 2018 and 2024 elections, which was marred by violence and widely criticized as being fraudulent. Her second premiership, 2009 to 2024, was marked by economic mismanagement and rampant corruption, leading to rising foreign debt, increasing inflation, youth unemployment, and banking irregularities. An estimated $150 billion, or T17, 6 lakh crore was siphoned out of Bangladesh by illegal means during this period. In 2022, anti-government protests broke out demanding the resignation of Hasina. In June 2024, fresh student protests erupted throughout the country, demanding the reform of quotas in government jobs. The protests were met with brutal crackdown by law enforcement agencies and paramilitary forces, resulting in the deaths of many students. By August, the protests intensified into a full-blown mass uprising against the government, which eventually culminated in the resignation of Hasina and her fleeing to India. It is widely considered that Bangladesh experienced democratic backsliding under her premiership. Human Rights Watch documented widespread enforced disappearances and extrajudicial killings under her government. Numerous politicians and journalists were systematically and judicially punished for challenging her views. In 2021, Reporters Without Borders gave a negative assessment of Hasina's media policy for curbing press freedom in Bangladesh since 2014. Domestically, Hasina has been criticized as being too close to India, often at the cost of Bangladesh's sovereignty. She is seen as a manifestation of India's interference in Bangladeshi politics, which the critics described as the main source of Hasina's power. Hasina was among Time's 100 most influential people in the world in 2018 and was listed as being one of the 100 most powerful women in the world by Forbes in 2015, 2018, and 2022. Hasina was born on the 28th of September 1947 to the Bengali Muslim Sheikh family of Tungapara in East Bengal. Her father was Bengali nationalist leader Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and her mother was Begum Fazila Tanissa Mujib. She has Iraqi Arab ancestry through both her paternal and maternal sides of family, and her clan were direct descendants of Muslim preacher Sheikh Abdul Awal Darwish of Baghdad, who had arrived in Bengal in the late Mughal era. Hasina grew up in Tungapara during her early childhood under the care of her mother and grandmother. When the family moved to Dhaka, they initially lived in the neighborhood of Segun Bagicha. When Hasina's father became a government minister in 1954, the family lived on 3 Minto Road. In the 1950s, her father also worked in the Alpha Insurance Company, aside from his political activities. In the 1960s, the family moved into a home built by her father on Road 32 in Don Mondi. In many interviews and speeches, Hasina talked about growing up while her father was held as a political prisoner by the Pakistani government. In one interview, she remarked that, for instance, after the United Front ministry was elected in 1954,